Yes, I have often thought of leaving to work as a wetback, as they say, to help my family. But then I think that I would lose my daughter's love if I left them. I could send money back into their lives, but what about love and education? It's not the same.
Remittances play a huge role in supporting many poor families. But are some countries becoming too dependent on this flow of money?
Remittances create a safety net that the state doesn't have to deal with. And the more money you send home to feed, clothe, and provide medical attention to your family, the less obligation on the state and the more freedom of the state to engage in any kind of less responsible activity.
Increasingly, migrant groups in the US are taking on financial responsibilities once left to the state. Known as hometown associations, groups like this one raise extra cash to send home for community projects. In 2004, more than $2 million was sent back to El Salvador.
We've been building churches, Red Cross building. We've been driving ambulance from here. The last project that we have a reforestation project because that's very critical in my country right now. We raise money constantly.
Some communities get so much money, they don't need to rely on the government to fund local improvements.
If you go to Chirilagua and Tipuca, those communities down there, they don't even bother to ask the government because they're self-sufficient. They get so much money from the state. A lot of the young kids after ninth grade, they already have a visa to immigrate.
Governments themselves in these developing countries absolutely need to do a much better job than they've been doing over the last 25 years. I think it is very, very important to underscore that remittances are not a substitute for sound economic policies at home, and remittances are certainly not a substitute for foreign assistance.
None of this is denied by the Salvadoran government. But in reality, the country has few development options, and increasingly the government is trying to bring remittances into the mainstream economy.
We have published a book containing all public policies addressed to Salvadorians living abroad and who would like to invest in the country. We offer technological assistance, procedures to set up a business, projects that may be of interest to Salvadorans.
The government is also working with international development organizations to encourage those who receive remittances to use the money in other productive ways.
They should continue using it for what they receive it for, which is to survive, to send their children to school, to have better shelter and so on. But we can also help them to multiply the effect of these remittances flows in their community.
With assistance from the UN agency IFAD, Julio and Ana have invested some money into their farm.
We give them an opportunity to invest in the infrastructure of their farms in ways that make them more profitable. Buying improved seeds and better quality supplies diminishes risks in productivity.
Julio and Ana used to grow maize and beans, but just for their own consumption. Now they also grow fruit trees and rear animals, which earns them a profit of $200 a month.
I have more income because I work the land. I don't live solely from remittances.
Having opportunities to invest their remittances has helped pull the Cortez family further from poverty. But what about the rest of the community? Is there a way to spread the benefits? One answer may be to change how remittances are sent. The old methods were well known and dangerous. Mules or money smugglers would regularly carry thousands of dollars across the borders, and still do. Money transfer agents are a much more secure route. But transfers and smuggling are still expensive.
When we started looking at this 5 years ago, the cost of sending the money was often 15 to 20% of the total of the remittance. Economists would call that inefficient. The real word would be outrageous.
Now, with the scent of serious money in the air, some banks are starting to get involved. And that could lead to a reduction in costs, as well as a change in how remittances are transferred.
In the United States, we've seen banks increasingly become interested in this market. And it's partly because they understand that many immigrants in this country stay and become bank customers. Remittances are often what we call a loss leader, that it might be something where the bank is losing money in the immediate. They may be offering a $5, $10 a free remittance service. It's not free for a bank to offer a remittance service, but they use it as a way to get immigrants into the door.